Welcome back to a story time. This one's going to be a really quick story time about how I got my very first client. My very first client, where they called me and they talked to me, and I advise them and give my opinion about whatever they want to talk to me about, usually pertaining to something that's very troubling in their lives. This is how I got my very first client, and this is how so far I've gotten most of my clients. I don't have a lot, by the way, but one time I took my son to a play date at a park, and I took both of my sons, and a lady, I'm sitting there and I'm just checking my emails, and my sons are like with the other kids in the park, and a lady pulls up to my two sons in particular, and she starts talking to them. She's talking to my oldest son. My sons are 10 years apart. I think I said that in another video. And she's talking to my sons, and so I'm asking her, like, is everything okay? Is there a problem? And so she's like, no. And she was like, she said, your son reminds me of my son, and I really admire how I'm watching him, and I see that he has like really good behavior. And so I'm like, okay. And so she's like, oh, so she continues talking. She continues talking. She pulls over closer to my car, um, and 2 hours go by. She's just pouring her heart out to me, pouring her heart out, pouring her heart out. And so once I told her, like, okay, like, we've been here for like 2 hours, so I'm gonna get going now. And I wouldn't have been there for that long, but I didn't want to interrupt her, and I just needed her to talk because she needed a shoulder to lean on. So I just allowed her to talk. Um, and she asked me if she could call me to talk to me, like, on a regular basis. So I told her, like, I said, I gave her my number. I said, if I'm available, yes, I will talk to you. So I did end up, I started talking to her once a week. Um, so yeah, that's how I got my first client. And you know what? That day, why did she have $300 in cash in her car? She tried to give me $300, and I told her, like, oh, like, this is not necessary. I said, you want to don't do you want me to donate it? We can go half and half if you want. If you feel like I gave you a service just by listening to you and advising you of some things, we could do that. Do you have a charity? I could take it to your charity, whatever. And so I'm like, I don't, need the $300. And she's like, okay. No, she said, take it, take it. And so I'm like, no, I don't really need to, unless you want me to take it, to donate it to a place that really needs it. Anyways, why am I talking so stiff? Um, what happened after that? Don't click out of this video. I don't remember. This was quite a while ago. This is how I got my first client. So the boys are getting in the car, and so she goes in her trunk, and then she goes back in her car. But in that time, she threw the $300 in the back window, of my car. So when I pulled off, and of course, when I get to my next appointment, like where I was going, I see that, and so I'm just like, okay. So when she called me, I thanked her, and I told her that I know that she did that because that's the only place it could have come from. But she was adamant. She really wanted to pay me that $300 just for sitting there and listening to her talk to me for like 2 hours. So yeah, that was how I got my first client. That in fact is how I got all my clients, not the park scene, but just going into places, and then people just wanting to talk to me and then tell me like personal things. I know people do that with strangers because they think they're never going to see them again, but they actually wanted to talk to me like later to finish telling me just whatever it is. And so I don't have all the time in the world to just listen to situations, so I started charging people. Like, you want me to listen to you and then advise you on some things, and nothing serious, not things like with the law or anything like that, not anything like that. But sometimes people just need someone to talk to, a shoulder to lean on. And yeah, that's it. I think that's enough videos for the day, because like I said, you guys are going to get used to seeing this hijab because it's going to be like in 4 videos. So with that being said, thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, if you have not subscribed and you just watched, thank you. Give me a thumbs up. If you are an old subscriber, thank you. I'm almost up to 500. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys' support, and I will come back with another story time, God willing. Take care. Bye.